You know, there's a term in the social consciousness right now that honestly, I can't stand. And that's guilty pleasure. A guilty pleasure is the term we assign to things that a majority of people have said is terrible, but we enjoy anyway. I was watching the Nostalgia Chick's Top 10 Guilty Pleasures, and I was really put off by how apologetic and sad she was toward her choices.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how to justify this one. I'm sorry.
Now, I'm a firm believer that if you have reasons for liking something, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. I mean, I own every Ed Wood movie on DVD. I mean, I got this as a gift, but it's out of the package because the movies are hysterical. I don't care how bad they are or how critics have said they're terrible. There is nothing more amusing than watching Bela Lugosi fight a fake octopus. But more so than movies, people use guilty pleasure to describe how they like things that are outside their predetermined genre. And I don't like this because it limits what people are listening to on the grounds that other people won't like it. Everybody has things that on the surface people don't expect them to listen to, but that's what makes people individuals. I feel that if you can give 2 solid reasons to why you like something, no matter what genre it is, you shouldn't feel bad about listening to it. For example, here's some things that I listen to that you probably wouldn't expect. Their songs are catchy as hell, and Hayley Williams is pretty damn cute. And I'm not just saying that because I have a bias towards redheads. Alright, I'm totally saying that because I have a bias towards redheads.
Give me this one shot for my pain, one drag for my sorrow.
I think the stuff he does is incredibly bluesy, especially the stuff he does with his 2 backup guys that follow him everywhere. And I've actually met him, and he's a really cool guy. Let's be honest, when I admit that I like that, it doesn't matter what reasons I put. But there's a band that a lot of metal fans consider a guilty pleasure that honestly they shouldn't. They're fast as hell, they're great musicians, they're technical as all hell, so why would you say that it's a guilty pleasure to like them? I do not believe in the term guilty pleasure, so I can go right ahead and say it. I'm not a fan of Dragonforce. This is an odd one to say the least. I mean, they almost seem like a parody band of power metal bands. Hell, even the basic premise sounds like a joke. Look, a Chinese guy, a Frenchman, and a couple of Englishmen walk into a studio. Dragonforce. And now an incredibly brief history of Dragonforce. Dragonforce is a power metal band from London, England. They are most notable for having incredibly lengthy and fast guitar solos and fantasy-inspired lyrics. With the replacement of singer ZP by Mark Hudson in early 2010, guitarists Herman Lee and Sam Totman are the only 2 original members left. Critics have called this band Bon Jovi on speed, Journey meets Slayer, Nintendo metal, and a bunch of other hilariously accurate titles. And that's pretty much it. A lot of people don't like Dragonforce because of the live show. A bunch of people went to go see them after they released the album Inhuman Rampage, and even according to the band, that tour was plagued with technical difficulties. And apparently every song sounded like a Yngwie Malmsteen instructional video. My friend Brian actually saw the show, and here's how he described it.
I remember going to that Ozfest and being very sad. Like, oh, it was just awful. It was just so awful. Oh my god, it was like being promised something brutal and then being given like a pillow. You're like, this is not like, I'm going to war tomorrow. I need my mace, not a pillow. Like, I'm going to die. All the other Vikings gonna make fun of me. Like, this is lame.
Those are the best comparisons of a metal sound I've ever heard.
It is. But honestly, I've never seen them live. I've never even heard a live recording from any of their shows. So why don't I like Dragonforce? Is it because their songs are produced in a way that's not really enjoyable? Is it because I can't differentiate one song from the next? Is it because I'll never get the achievement for 5-starring every song on Expert? Because I can't be through the fire and the flames? Because every time I try and do the hammer-ons in the beginning, I fail out immediately? Sorry. Nerd! But who knows? They've had a few lineup changes, including a change of singers, and if this show's taught us anything, sometimes a change of singers could be good. So, let's see how they sound now. Did I put in the wrong CD for a second? Because this sounds exactly like every other Dragonforce song I've ever heard. that's two. We are 2 songs in, and already I don't give a crap. You got one more strike, Dragonforce. I know you're not going to do anything to change my mind. The hell? This is, actually rather good. I honestly don't know what I like the most about this song. The fact that the guitars are obviously slower paced, but still have the sound that Dragonforce is famous for. The fact that the vocals are being used for something other than filler when there's no guitar solos. Maybe just the overall sound. It sounds like a classic power metal song, maybe even like a Blind Guardian song. This is a damn good song. I mean, it's catchy, it's easy to follow, and unlike every other Dragonforce song, I can pinpoint it by name.
So far away, we wait for the way. Will our eyes now see the day? Once in a lifetime.
This is what I've been looking for. I really hope the rest of the album follows suit.
Into this world in wonder from the starlight sky. For a lifetime of freedom, and the legend is born. Once more unbroken, the price we will pay on this.
It doesn't, does it? A lot of it is just too in-your-face and fast to enjoy. You can't really sink your teeth into anything. And I'm not saying that they're not good. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the songs don't really sound like songs. They don't build to anything. They don't have a beginning, middle, and end. They're just 6 minutes of people showing off.
Consider yourself warned, noob.
Mike Petrucci demands it, and he is your god, so it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. For the good, the vocals have dramatically improved. And a lot of people may argue that there's no real difference between the two singers, but I think there is. Whereas ZP just kind of let everything out there and let it hang, the new guy, Mark Hudson, really does put a lot of feeling into it. In my opinion, Hudson wanted to show everyone that he's not just a session guy. He wanted to prove he's the new singer of Dragonforce, and he's gonna put as much effort into this as he possibly can. For the bad, there is variation, but it is few and far between. There's a lot of differently constructed elements in this album that I really enjoy, Cry Thunder obviously being my favorite, but there's an instrumental track at the end that puts a nice punctuation on the album without badioing the guitars. And in some editions of the album, you can get a bonus track, which is the song Seasons done as an acoustic song. And honestly, it doesn't suck. And I know you're thinking, an acoustic version of a Dragonforce song, that's just ridiculous. It's like a death metal version of a Lady Gaga song. Internet, you never cease to amaze me. Then again, they're still talking about stuff that's incredibly distant and things that are on fire. And now for the ugly. I've said before that this is my nitpicky section, and you can't get much more nitpicky than this. I hate the title, The Power Within. That just screams lame, casual power metal. Especially when you consider that the other album titles were called Ultra Beatdown and Inhuman Rampage. I need something a little bit more visceral, something more graphic from my Dragonforce titles. You have songs that sound like this. You cannot settle for the title of a Gamma Ray B-side. You need something amazing like Evisceration Stompage or Devastation Incantation. Or maybe you could go with something that actually reflects what the band is actually about, like Blistered Digits or Digitally Sped Up Audio.
Ha 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 joke.
So with this, I can honestly say, I'm still not entirely a fan of Dragonforce. The new album had an opportunity to give us something completely different, but instead seemed to rehash sounds and topics from old albums and added a different singer. What stands out for me is the complete departures from the Through the Fire and the Flames sound. Stuff that actually shows they have a lot more artistic integrity than just being really fast. Which is why I'd really like to see them do something completely different. Maybe a covers album or a concept piece. Something that would allow them to use different instruments, different playing styles, change up the pace of a lot of songs, and prove they're more than just a one-trick pony. But until they do, I got a few more achievements to unlock, so if you'll excuse me. Balls! Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out all my other videos, and until next time, remember, life is too short to listen to bad music. Hey man, I was just talking about you. Remember when I had that creepy guy chasing me and leaving all those weird cryptic messages? Yeah, that's it. How you been, man? You growing a beard?
I'm not gonna be ignored.
I'm not ignoring you, it's just you kinda haven't been around here for a while, so I kinda slipped my mind that you were threatening me and leaving me all those messages.
I speak of prophecy.
Why are you using that thing?
Its voice is not its own.
Oh, just like Bumblebee.
Alright, I'm sorry.
I've brought you a gift. Have a nice day.
These are all connected somehow, and I will not rest, I will not sleep, until I figure out what these messages mean. Hello?
Yo, dude, it's last call. You want to drink till we can't remember each other's names?
Be there in 5 minutes. Priorities.